Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another reaction to Nekoma's videos. Because, yeah, there was another SemiShiraKawaGata, so obviously I have to react to it. Especially since this part of the series, the Call Them Your Husband, was the main reason Hannah asked me for help. So that makes me doubly excited because, yes, of course it does. I kind of wanted to record yesterday already after the premiere, but yeah, I thought, okay, I will wait for the daylight. What is now? Raining! So it's still dark. Never mind. Either way, I am super excited about this one because, yeah, it's Taichi centric and you know I love Taichi. He's one of my most favorite babies, so that's why I heard him so much. Okay, last thing before we start, that's kinda out of topic, but still. I'm not sure how it's going to be with new videos in the next week, because with the app that I'm using to create the visual site, or we are all using to create the visual site, is not loading pictures, so we can't put the profile pictures to the bubbles or to the names. And because no one knows what's going on, when it's going to be resolved, the next week's videos are going to be without the profile pictures. Unfortunately, because I need to upload, okay? It's YouTube, it's mostly my job, so I need to upload, but it's going to be without the profile pictures because it is making my life difficult, of course. The re-uploads should still be going on, just with the fact that there will be the old profile pictures that are already there, because the text is fine, like I can write normally and it saves, but it's not saving when I upload the pictures, so unfortunately that's that. Anyway, talked enough, let's get into the video and reaction. I'm so excited for this, you have no idea. My babies are getting the love they deserve. Let's go.
Oi, Taichi. Huh? The bartender looked up surprised, a pen still pressed between his lips as he had previously used it to take notes with. The evening was fairly calm and he hadn't much to do at the moment, except for the occasional order. His colleague smirked and just nodded over to the other end of the bar near the door. Following his gaze, Taichi was surprised to see Semi approaching. The musician smiled sheepishly and sat down in one of the chairs. Taichi quickly fastened the pen and notebook to his apron before walking over to his boyfriend, yet his co-worker/manager stopped him halfway.
Oh, come on.
How long until your shift ends? Half an hour, I think. His eyes searched the room for a clock to confirm, but the other waves him off. It's calm tonight. Unless a sudden party breaks out, you're free to leave in 10 minutes.
How nice.
Thanks.
I used to do that in my old
He
job
gave a
too,
short bow before continuing on his way, a smile spreading on his face.
but that was because I didn't eat my lunch.
And what can I bring you today, sir?
I love this. When
Semi chuckled, and without looking at the menu, leaned over the counter slightly and ordered a cola.
of course. I love this when like Taichi is working and they come into the bar, whoever you ship him with. And it's just like, oh yeah, I don't know you. And the other is like, oh, I know you. It's funny.
I still have to drive me and my boyfriend home safely today.
Fair.
Your boyfriend, huh? Yeah, he's pretty amazing. Smart and kind. He also looks stunning and utterly adorable when he chews on his pen in concentration. He'd crept up his cheeks alarmingly fast, but with a bit of effort, and hiding his face by pretending to have to receive something from the other side of the bar, he managed to compose himself as he placed the glass in front of him. Oh? I didn't know Shirabu was nearby. Taichi. Semi whined and leaned a little closer over the counter, which didn't improve Taichi's composure at all. It was so odd how strongly their presence affected him. Playfully ditching customers' attempts to flirt with him was easy, but as soon as one of them gave him one of these soft, caring looks through long lashes, his knees got weak.
Well, obviously, you are with them for a reason. You all know why.
It wasn't fair, he decided.
They're all pretty
Hopefully,
boys.
this challenge would teach them a lesson. Wait, the challenge. Right. He could do this. Just don't look into his eyes.
Yeah, definitely teach them a
He leaned
lesson.
back
Yeah.
slowly, looking around
Definitely
aimlessly.
not going to make them gleeful like idiots. At least Semi and Hayato. That's my prediction, by the way. Definitely not because I gave it as advice. I'm curious about Shirabu.
I'm afraid I still have a job to do. I can't only serve my husband, even if he's as handsome as you. He tried to wink and, without another glance, quickly turned around to leave. The sound of shattering glass made him freeze mid-step, followed by coughing.
That's such a good image.
Semi? Damn it. I'm sorry. I'll pay for the glass. Wait, let me.
That's such a good image to
Shattered on the
imagine.
ground. Cola and tiny shards were spreading everywhere, and Semi quickly leaned down to clean the mess before Taichi could stop him. He threw an apologetic look at his co-worker, who handed him a broom and towel. That looks bad. Better bring him to the ER. We got it from here. Thank you.
Wanna guess who is going to be the doctor there?
No worries. Though I keep it in mind. Suddenly, a soft chuckle echoed from where Semi was laying on the stretcher, and he looked up at him with a smirk tagging his lips upward. Do you think Kenjiro will be mad at us?
Oh yes, he will.
Taichi gulped. He hadn't even thought of it, and Shirabu's wrath certainly wasn't something he was hoping for.
It's okay, it's going to be Semi on the receiving end, definitely.
Probably. We showed up unannounced in the ER. With one of the stupidest injuries at that.
I wouldn't say the stupidest.
I'm sorry about that.
I can think of many more stupid.
What for? You only dropped the glass because I said that. Now you'll need stitches and won't be able to play guitar for a while. He had thought about it the whole way here, the implications this injury could have, all just because of him. For a moment, the silverhair just stared at him, then laughter filled the room. I guess I reacted kind of poorly then. Oh, do you plan on doing the challenge on Shirabu as well?
Maybe wait until he doesn't have anything in his hand.
That was the plan. Mind doing me a favor and wait until he gets here? That's something I'd pay money to see. I'm almost mad I didn't come up with this myself. Would have loved to see you flustered.
Oh, you will. He's going to get flustered anyway.
Then again, hearing you calling me that might just have been worth it. The longer Semi talked, the more blood seemed to travel into Taichi's cheeks, and his voice suddenly seemed gone. If Shirabu would show up now, he doubted he could muster little more than a stutter. Luckily, he had some time to catch himself, and even more fortunately, Semi stopped rambling about how cute he apparently looked when blushing, after a doctor finally arrived and started removing the glass shards. Some tiny, others not so much. He tried comforting him by squeezing his shoulder, but it seemed to have little impact in the great scheme of things. Just as his thoughts threatened to get infected with guilt again, hectic steps echoed from down the room, and a voice he'd recognized anywhere.
I feel my influence.
What do you mean, just slightly? They are injured, and nobody told me sooner? I was right here. The doctor in training seemed almost frantic. Almost. Taichi was surely concerned this might reflect badly on him, but the compassionate look from the doctor told him not to worry too much. The curtain was ripped aside, and before him the disheveled image of their boyfriend appeared. Worry mixed with rage was written all over his face. Hi. Semi grinned and waved at him with his good hand. Shirokun, do you know these patients?
Unfortunately
The
so.
youngest started to answer when Taichi interrupted him, not wanting the opportunity to go to waste.
Oh god.
We are his husband.
Just don't tell me Shirabu is holding
The young
something.
doctor in training visibly paled before blood rushed equally as fast to his cheeks. He mustered a small nod before his eyes fixated on the work his colleague was doing on his boyfriend's hand. At this point, the worst was over. The glass shards had been completely removed, and she closed the wound with skilled movements, swiftly stitching the skin together. Semi tried for nonchalance, but Shirabu's wrath was nothing to underestimate. And just grabbed a handful of it afterwards and squeezed, or what?
By the way, you know how I talk on streams about anger born of worry? This is a nice example of that. Not as drastic as I have in mind
I
to
got
write
a bit
in
distracted.
future. But yeah.
He reached out with his other hand and held Shirabu's gently. Were you worried? You almost gave me a heart attack. What was I supposed to think when Tanimoto-san told me you were admitted to the ER? Who? One of the nurses. The cut wasn't too deep. Many small superficial wounds made it look worse than it actually was. None of the important structures to maintain mobility seemed to be damaged.
Oh my god, I can't wait to get
This should
into
heal without
SemiShira proposal.
complications, as long as it's kept clean and you rested for the next couple of days. Thank you. Taichi sighed relieved, silently praying the last part of this challenge wouldn't be equally disastrous.
Considering it's Hayato, maybe it would be disastrous for you. Disastrous in quotation marks.
Taichi's phone vibrated with an incoming message on the table next to him. Despite already being put on silence, it made a slight buzzing sound as it danced across the wood. He could already guess who it was. Since he started the challenge with Semi, a few days had passed, and the others were waiting for the results. But ever since, there had been no real opportunity to do the challenge. Mostly, he didn't even get to spend time with Hayato at all, with his shifts being at night while the other worked during the day. His mind was exhausted. He was exhausted, and it got worse the longer he was deprived of his boyfriend's cuddles, which happened far too often lately. He was too tired to think of an excuse for going out and doing a stupid challenge. What? He should have probably checked the caller ID before answering so frustrated, his voice laced with tired resignation. To his surprise, he didn't recognize the voice immediately. Hey, Taichi, that you?
Okay, this is funny because you see the version of Taichi in that? That's what my phone always autocorrects it on, and it's so frustrating. I don't know why it does. I suppose it's mistaking it for some other words, but it's so frustrating to always correct it.
They sounded drunk, or at least tipsy, and Taichi to strain his ears to search for any kind of familiarity in the sound. Yes? Who is this? It's Katayama. We met. In the games, you know? Slowly, the pieces clicked into place. Katayama was one of Hayato's teammates. They weren't particularly close, but definitely on friendly terms. The minute it took Katayama to gather his thoughts was enough for one catastrophic event after another to rush through Daichi's head. He felt the nails of his right hand digging into his palm as he waited tensely for the other to get his stuff together.
Poor Taichi.
You see, the game today was a total success, and we went to the bar to celebrate. But now, I don't think he should go home alone. Could you pick him up? I would bring him, but, well, I'm not much better. Sure, I'm on my way. Give me 10 minutes. He wrapped up the call and swiftly gathered his things to put them aside. While he put on his shoes and jacket, he couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. The relief from hearing none of his worst-case scenarios confirmed seemed only temporary. It was the moment he arrived at the bar that he noticed. Hayata had a game today, one that was clearly important to him and the team, and he hadn't been there to support him. He didn't even realize that it was today. Why didn't the Libero tell him? He shook his head.
Because he doesn't want
He
you
was
to
his
stress.
boyfriend. It was his job to know these things. Furthermore, he probably did tell him, but he forgot because he was so tired. If that was true, Taichi!
I see my influence. Once
Hayata gave him
again.
this type of half grin, half smile only drunk people could muster, though it was mixed with his typical enthusiasm. I'm here to pick up my husband. Hayata looked at him confused, and it seemed to take a while for the words to process. Your husband?
I need to
He looked
do more
around
of
as though he
confused
was searching
Hayato.
for someone else that fit
He's
the description
adorable.
better. With that much success as it seems. The confused frown returned to his face, which was really unfair considering how utterly adorable it was.
Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying.
Firmly cupped his cheeks and made the Libero meet his gaze. I'm talking about you, dummy. I'm here to pick you up and bring you home. Suddenly, the smile of his eyes began to sparkle, and before Taichi knew it, he found himself tackled in his embrace, though whether it was from the exhaustion or the alcohol, neither the impact nor his grip were very strong. Taichi immediately reached out to steady him at his side.
Also drunken Hayato.
I love you too.
Also fun.
That made his cheeks warm. How could he be so precious even in these circumstances? With a little bit of trial and error and a lot of teasing, they managed to say goodbye to his team and leave, though the whole way Hayato refused to let go of him. And honestly, he could live with that.
Aww. Well, that was a delight. As I said, I am always happy when I see people picking up the ships I bring up to the table or to YouTube and just doing their own thing with that. I can feel my influence on Taichi here. So, maybe be careful in the future when you're watching Hana's video with SemiShiraKawaGata. In terms of Taichi's personality, it's not going to be much better, I suppose, than the mine. But hey, it's their thing, maybe it's going to be. I am just a advisor in the background, so just keep that in mind, okay? Otherwise, what can I say? Again, it's a delight, and it's adorable. I need to do more confused and drunken Hayato because he's so fun to work with. Him and Taichi are so fun to work with in writing side of things. And yeah, Shirabu being all worry turned anger. That's so Shirabu thing to do. I love it. I'm glad that there was space for some hurt comfort because that's what we love, obviously, on this channel. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing more. And much more, hopefully. You have no idea how good of a feeling it is when I get a message from Hana starting with "How dare you?" It's hilarious and I love it. So, thank you Hana for creating this and taking a bit of a creational freedom with the ship. And it's making me so happy. Thank you all who watched this reaction. The original video is going to be linked in the description, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. And yeah, hopefully the vid gets their shite together as soon as possible. I have a new video prepared, so I just need to voice it and all that stuff. It's another random one. So yeah, but it's annoying. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to take long to repair. And yeah, see you next time.